welcome one and all to another amazing night here in Tranquility.
We absolutely are in for a treat of a match here tonight, no question about it.
And the grenade from Pomku eliminate everybody on the field.
Now between something as well is going to be applied as a death block them, and it's going to be huge. Fighting 3.
The double kill with the Bastion ulti? Alright, I see you guys.
For B-Well, look to find a stick there, finds the stick, they find 2 with it!
Those who find the picks will save the fight, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
And Cam with the 4-man punch off the map!
Experience tranquility.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Tranquility, where it is Champ Week here in Season 10. And what a better place to start here than the Harmony Tier to see the number 2 seed Flashbacks take on the number 7 seed Galactic Penguins. I am Dexatron, joined here tonight by Gedster. Man, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well here, Dex. I was asked to fill in for somebody else who unfortunately couldn't make it here, so I kind of had to scramble home a little bit from school earlier than expected, and then I ran into some technical difficulties on the computer, and I was like, oh no, am I even going to be able to make it? But we're here, we're doing great, we're vibing, and I am ready to see this grand final matchup. Again, you pointed it out, between a number 2 seed and a number 7 seed? How does that happen?
Well, I mean, if you look back at the Galactic Penguins' run here through the playoffs, they were originally the number 10 seed in the knockout brackets. But in those 3 games there, they beat the Swordfish in Week 10, and then knockout rounds 1 beat Chrysalis 3-2, and then in the final knockout round, which secured them a spot here in the championship bracket, they reverse swept Paw's champ.
That's absurd. I mean, when your life's on the line like that, you're working your way through that knockout bracket, making it your mission to get through, you know, and eventually you get here all the way, not only through the knockouts, but through the main playoff bracket as the number 7 seed. That's absolutely fantastically done from them here. Definitely showing that they deserve to be here throughout that run. But on the other side of the server, we have a much higher seeded team in Flashbacks.
Yeah, the Flashbacks came into the playoffs here, I believe, as the number 3 seed, moved up a seat due to the Paw's champs being knocked out here by the Galactic Penguins. But basically, they've kind of had a much smoother path here, really only dropping 1 map in almost every game, minus their final game in the in the upper bracket, where they played Geometric and they won 3-2 there. But in the round of 8 here in the championship bracket, they beat the Luminous Foxes 4-1, and then last week they beat Clairvoyance 4-1 as well to secure them a spot here. So these 2 teams actually really coming into this game, playing probably the best Overwatch they have been playing all season long.
That is really good to hear. And I mean, with both of these teams as on fire as they seem to be, we might be in for a little bit of a banger of a grand final. That's all I'm saying here, Dex. It could go either way. Both of these teams, like, making ludicrous runs. Galactic Penguins getting way further than anybody expected them to, based on that record especially. But man, can Flashbacks, can the unstoppable force that is the Penguins beat the immovable object that is Flashbacks?
I mean, the Galactic Penguins are coming in this one that I called them last week as giant killers, because they beat the number 1 overall seed, Onigiri. And I believe that was one of Onigiri's few losses so far this season, and they handed them in that semifinal there. But coming into this game here, I mean, it's a different kind of matchup here. You have to admit that. The championship game, you're going to play it a lot different. There's going to be a little bit more nerves than what you'll have in a semifinal. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, for sure. It gets nervous. When the lights are at the brightest, that's when the pressure is strongest, you know. The grand finals being this very series, it could lead to a little bit of cracking, you know. Some people might not be able to fully take that pressure, but I believe that both of these rosters, I could be wrong here, but I believe that both of these rosters have players that have actually won Trank in the past. I think one of them has at least a couple who won back in Season 7. Ilios is going to be where we're starting, by the way.
Yeah, we'll be heading to Ilios first. And yes, you are absolutely right. The Flashbacks have Schuster and Milan, who were a part of, I believe it was Flashbacks then, the winners of Season 7. So they're trying to win. And again, 3 seasons later here. And, you know, that's a big thing for these players here. They really want to try to be a 2-time Transcendent or a Tranquility champs here. Galactic Penguins, on the other hand, I don't know if they have any players on their team that has won before, but they have been an incredibly good team here lately. And when I was talking to these coaches before the game got started here, in the Galactic Penguins' main goal here, or what they think their key to winning is shutting down the tank and flex support duo there for the Flashbacks. Well, the Flashbacks, all they said is, we just need to play our game and not get caught up in the Galactic Penguins game.
Don't get fooled by their shenanigans here, but both teams are going to be rolling out with very similar compositions on this Ilios well. We only really see one difference, and that's in the flying character both teams are running. Both teams opting to teleport forward and switch back to the Tracer. But Galactic Penguins rolling out with the Echo, and Flashbacks out with the Pharah. Ooh, little bit of a dogfight here.
Yeah, a lot of people always like to consider the Echo to be kind of a counter to Pharah, and a Pharah to be counter to an Echo here, but it's really going to come down to who has this more aerial pressure, and Gizmo starting off with an early kill. Now, the coach for the Flashbacks Reborn really said if they need to shut down Gizmo, because in their opinion, Gizmo might have been one of the best tanks and probably deserved All-Star here in the Harmony tier.
That was an absolutely massive first pick there. Just, they didn't provide any sort of peel. Poor Glimpse right off the bat. Just losing your Mercy that quickly, absolutely just not going to work out there. Suddenly your Pharah doesn't have any way to consistently damage pressure the other team, and she's taking too much damage, so it's a free dive onto the other Ana, and we saw how that went.
Yeah, I like what the Galactic Penguins are doing right now. They're just kind of playing back, wanting the Flashbacks to come to them. Sky able to escape, which is really key to them. And now you do see B-Will there trying to just take care of Chobi. Sky gets that anti-nade there, so they cannot get any help. But it doesn't seem like anyone on the Flashbacks necessarily wants to go after them. And now we see Arsene here take care of Doa. Maybe we see the Flashbacks try to go off that pick there. But Gizmo trying to go up there, disrupt that pharmacy combo there in the Sky, almost taking care of Glimpse or Chobi low as well here, but you are seeing Pacey here able to get Glimpse right back up and healed. However, Flashbacks really not taking advantage of that one-man advantage they had.
And they've managed to stay alive for so long here, Dex. Finally, the first pick in this fight happens, and it's onto Gizmo. And just like that, the dominoes fall. Arsene's gonna find a couple more. Doha and Chobi going down as well. And now it's just a matter of cleanup kills on the point here. Eventually, Arsene will fall. Perhaps a little bit of over-aggression, but it won't matter. Glimpse is right there to pick up that res.
Yeah, but look at this next fight here. It's going to be 5 ults against 5 ults, in my opinion here. It's really going to come down to who can get the first pick here. It doesn't matter if you use an ultimate or not to get that pick. You're going to give your team such a huge advantage. Those Tracers are going to be looking for a Pulse Bomb stick onto any of the supports. You immediately see B-Will try to get in that backline with a Nano coming out here on because they get slept, but they immediately get woken up. A little bit of a misplay coming out there from the Flashbacks. However, it's not coming back to bite them just yet. You do see Gizmo going after Glimpse there, but we do see Elixir fall here first, and the Flashbacks in a good spot. Elixir, though, able to get res there by Chobi as the Galactic Penguins still desperately looking for a pick here. Doa now duplicating into a Tracer. There's 3 Tracers on the field. The bomb coming out from Schuster will not find anyone, and they get the D-Mech. They get the remech kill there onto Doa, but it only takes care of the duplication. But Glimpse falling, that is not what you want to see if you're the Flashbacks.
Definitely not, and if there was any pick you needed to find to retake the point here for the Penguins, that was it. And Arsene going down to a focusing beam as well. Super good tracking from Doha, almost looking directly up according to the replay camera there. That was absurd. Down goes the mech, and there goes the flip. Galactic Penguins are looking really, really solid right now, moving into one-fight territory.
Yeah, and that's not, B will falling there is not what you want to see. They tried so hard to keep Pacey alive. They did that, but at the cost of their own life. Yeah, B will be able to get back in time fast enough to go back and touch the point, but we're looking at two ultimates right now that could end this round here, keep this round going. Arsene's barrage or Gizmo's bomb here. Gizmo has been able to land some good D.Va bombs in the past that has won their team fights. This time it might win them a point here as you see the Flashbacks touch point. Looks like the Galactic Penguins though actually gonna let them take the point here as Arsene falls here early to a focusing beam from Doa.
And that can't be rezzed either. That's way too far away for Glimpse to get there safely. Just gonna have to respawn and wait for him to come back, but Glimpse goes down. Arsene has to get back here with his barrage and have it be the most miraculously amazing barrage of all time. The nano goes out onto Gizmo. Down goes B-Well. And it looks like this point might be over here, Dexatron. Ilios well, pretty solidly going the way of Galactic Penguins, but it's not over yet. Arsene down to another focusing beam. Doha's gonna duplicate the Ana this time, maybe getting another nano online momentarily. Sky gonna whiff that pulse bomb, but it may not matter. There's the bomb. I imagine we're just gonna see it thrown into the air here. Yeah, alright, fair enough.
Yeah, no, I actually like what Gizmo did there. Holding on to that bomb, they were using it at that point as a re-meching tool. We have seen them in the past, or I've seen them in the past use it as something that initially starts the fight, or they throw it in the middle of a team fight trying to catch one or two members out. But that time they're using it as a re-meching tool, as we've seen a lot of divas use it more recently here as just a re-meching tool. But, you know, they played that perfectly. They allowed the Flashbacks to take it, then they got rid of Arsene, followed by Glimpse. And at that point right there, the Flashbacks had a very uphill battle to get back into that one, even though they had control of the point.
For sure, for sure. And now we're seeing extremely similar compositions here. It doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any major swaps as of yet here. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, okay, both Symmetrics will swap back to the Tracer. Unsurprising. It is definitely what B-Well and Sky seem to be comfortable on into this composition here. A lot of rockets going out onto Elixir, looking really low here. Oh, doesn't get poked out though. Chobi able to get back and save Elixir just barely in time, but everybody on the side of Galactic Penguins looking somewhat low here. Gizmo goes up to aggress here, but Schuster's gonna find the first pick onto Sky.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the Galactic Penguins try to play this round here to start off, because I felt like how they were playing for point, but they weren't necessarily playing for point. They weren't really finding a lot of damage either. Flashbacks will take point here first. Gizmo getting demech'd here. And hell, there goes half the team right there. It's going to be a soft reset here for the Galactic Penguins. Flashbacks easily winning that one there. Just, I felt like that pressure there from Arsene in that high in the sky there, just raining in damage there on Elixir, kind of forced the Galactic Penguins to play it a little bit differently than how they really wanted to as we get a pause here.
Unfortunately timed pause, but it gives me time to ask a little bit of a question here, Dex. Do you think that we might see a tank swap at any point here? Because the D.Va matchup, it's been going well for both of the teams. I think that they've both been able to play to the advantages of D.Va, but I imagine we might see like a swap to maybe like a Ramatra somewhere along the line here. I feel like Brawl could work here on Lighthouse if they were so inclined.
I feel like if we go to a third sub-map here, we will see a tank swap. I don't think D.Va necessarily really works the best on Ruins. We're going to see D.Va pretty much here on Lighthouse, in my opinion. Just D.Va can eat so much damage, barrage, pulse bombs, sleeps. Basically, that's how these the D.Vas really want to play. They really just want to be damage eaters and just ultimate eaters as well. You already see B-Well has their pulse bomb ready to go here, but still Arsene and Glimpse just kind of hanging high in the sky, raining down as much damage as they can there onto the Galactic Penguins. But now that you see Gizmo go up there, you kind of see Arsene take focus off the supports and focus on Gizmo to try to get them away from them. And Schuster able to find Chobi. That's not how you want to see this fight start if you're a Penguins fan or a player here, especially with Doa falling as well.
Yep, that's a full reset despite the fact that Pasty falls immediately after. There's almost no way to consistently bring this back. Elixir may be the next to fall here. Pulse Bomb does miss, so Elixir will get away, just barely. But that is a crucial ultimate currently out of play. But Sky getting staggered so hard, or maybe that's just a... Was that a post fight kill or was that a pre-fight kill? That just took so long.
I think it was Sky was coming back into it, but Chobi, again, dying here really early, and by this point, your Galactic Penguins, you're falling back and just accepting that you're going to be in final fight territory from here on out. The Flashbacks have all their ultimates ready, minus B-Well, who used that Pulse Bomb a little bit earlier, missed it onto Elixir, but, I mean, still, yeah, the Galactic Penguins will come back with 3 ultimates. Doa could potentially get a duplicate up really fast here, but a good bomb or a good nano or barrage here for the Flashbacks will pretty much end this round here, but Doa falling early is not what you want to see, and Chobi has to use a Valkyrie trying to get on point. B-Will takes care of them, and the Flashbacks looking to have a strong response here to losing that first point.
It was a close well, but not so close when it comes to this here point for Dexatron. The Lighthouse just definitively goes the way of Flashbacks. However, there is a little bit of a chance here for the Galactic Penguins. Doha does have this duplicate to work with. Duplicate's the Diva. Not going to get that self-destruct quite yet. Down goes the mech to a remech. There goes the duplicate. And now it's still at 99-0. But Galactic Penguins actually managed to claw their way back. They take a capture here, but losing Elixir is really bad for them.
And Sky as well. Doa does take care of Glimpse, though, and that does keep him alive here. And Doa should also be able to take care of Arsene here, but the Galactic Penguins finding me into Cast Curse here early in this game, able to take the point in what I thought was pretty much a done deal. Gizmo, though, falling, followed by Doa is not what you want to see. The Flashbacks here should be able to retake points, especially with Chobi falling. You do see Sky coming back, but that Tracer can only do so much against the force of the Flashbacks. The Pulse Bomb coming out there won't necessarily matter as Schuster shuts them down. Arsene finds Elixir, and Gizmo coming back on the ball, not able to get back there in time. So we're heading to a third sub-map here, and like I said, I feel like going into Ruins, we might not see the Diva. You could still run Diva on Ruins, but I feel like it kind of plays better into maybe a Drunken Queen or a Ramatra here. And you're already starting to see some swaps coming out here for the sides, and the Flashbacks definitely teasing us, in my opinion, with what would seem to be a brawl comp minus Schuster here at the moment.
There we go. You say it, but there's the Ramatra we were all expecting. Now, in the meantime, Galactic Penguins, is this a real composition? Are we seeing Wrecking Ball? Is Wrecking Ball a real pick and not just a stop pick? Oh, it's real. It's real. We get a Wrecking Ball. I'm excited.
I love this pick, especially with the 2 DPS they have and the pharmacy combo. It kind of works out a lot better for them. I always call Ball a disruption tank. You want them to roll in, knock some people up in the air, have Sky come up behind them and try to take care of them. Sky, though, already incredibly low here, so Flashbacks just taking a lot of space. But Gizmo here really focused onto, I believe that was B-Well, but B-Well does get healed back up, and now they're incredibly low again. Not going to be able to have that grapple back in time, have their eyes set on Pacey, and Sky able to find Pacey is a huge pick. However, Flashbacks do take point here first, but the Galactic Penguins are just lighting up the kill feed.
It's not going to last long, Dexatron. That counter is going to tick up to maybe 15% if they're lucky, if they're able to stall out long enough here. But with that wall going down, the Mei is gone. There's barely any sustaining tools left for the Ramatra here. And yeah, that shield goes up and that Ramatra goes down 21% in building. But the Tracer does get back. They're just going to stall this out for as long as possible. That's the correct play. You know you're not going to hold on to this, so you just need to stall it out for ages. For literal ages here. And this is already way more than I thought they'd get here.
Yeah, and that's the good thing with Ramatra here. They are a stally tank. It allows their team to get back there and kind of just feed a little bit, but 38% is a lot more than probably what they should have got there. However, because of that, you see the ultimates there for the Galactic Penguins, all above 50%. Some swaps coming out here from the Flashbacks. They said, screw the brawl, we're going back to what we ran there on Lighthouse. So Schuster coming back out on this Diva. Again, like I said, we could see it. I just didn't necessarily think it might be the best comp here. I think the Galactic Penguins have a lot better of a comp, in my opinion, for this map.
It's definitely possible, and going forward, it'll be interesting to see how this Diva plays out, playing into the Wrecking Ball here. But Chobi being the first to fall here, we're already seeing that dive comp come out in spades. With Elixir and Chobi down, that almost certainly is going to lead to a point flip right off the bat here. First fight back, losing both of your supports immediately, almost certain doom. Down goes the Wrecking Ball. The Tracer is all that remains to stall this point out for a little longer, and she will not last long. 46%, make it 47. is all they'll get for now.
Yeah, and you know, maybe with how fast that or how good that dive worked there, maybe if you're the supports for the Galactic Penguins, you might go to something else here after you get these ultimates off. I don't think you necessarily have to worry about anything from the side of the Flashbacks to elicit the Kiriko pick here for Elixir. Maybe going back to that Ana will help you out a little bit more. Maybe going to a Zen will help you out here. But now it's up to the Galactic Penguins here to retake point. The Minefield already coming out here, and both support ultimates. The Galactic Penguins want to take back this point very fast, but Elixir is the first one to fall here. Doe immediately traded back out on a Glimpse. That's a huge pick there for the Penguins. And they get Pasty out as well. Bomb coming out though from Flashback. The Pulse Bomb from B-Well will find Doe.
Nice.
Now the from Arsene does go away here, but they immediately fall there to Gizmo. However, Schuster, again, just going to try to do what they did on Ramatra. Just stall out this point as long as they can. They'll eventually get demeched and then face the entirety of the Galactic Penguins. 89% though is nothing to scoff at.
Schuster being able to stall up to 89% puts them already further into one fight territory than we thought they were going to get off of 2 fights. That's absurd. There's been maybe 4 fights on this entire point, and we're already at this percentage for both teams. Sky with this Pulse Bomb could absolutely end a fight early, but we'll have to see how it goes in that regard. Doha on the point here, has the Mercy damage boost as well. There's the Pulse Bomb, gonna find a stick, but it's not gonna find a pick.
Yeah, the Suzu was definitely invested to keep themselves alive while the Valkyrie comes out here from Glimpse, and the Kitsune rush here from Pacey, but Schuster gets demeched here, not able to save them in time was those 2 support ultimates. They're still trying to get rid of Schuster here, doing a good job keeping themselves alive, but they're not keeping Arsene alive. Chobi though will fall. Arsene's back in the fight, but Glimpse is out. Pulse Bomb from B-Well gets rid of Doa's mech here. Here comes the Minefields again from Gizmo on point. They get rid of Pacey, and now everyone on the Flashbacks has to be very careful on point. Schuster though, last member alive here, kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, but this time it's a Minefield and a rock. Arsene falls, Schuster gonna get demeched here. However, the Flashbacks actually retook the point in all that confusion. Galactic Penguins will take it back here, and now they're trying to go on a little bit of offense here, and they will be able to prevent the Flashbacks from getting back. The Galactic Penguins will take the first map here in our Grand Finals.
The first step towards Grand Finals champions has been taken by Galactic Penguins. But now the Flashbacks, they get to clap back with whatever map they choose here. And it'll, oh, this will be exciting. Both of these teams favoring dive throughout the first map. I am extremely excited to see where this goes. We could be going to any map. We could see a brawl map. We could see a dive map. I don't know. Both of these teams seem to be, like, proficient in the dive. But what about their brawl? What about their poke? It could go anywhere.
I mean, it could go anywhere. I mean, and you can look at the small kind of sample size we got there from the Flashbacks on a brawl comp. It immediately got beaten up by the ball comp that the Galactic Penguins run, or that disruption comp that I like to call it. That ball came in, got in the backline, and pretty much just stayed there, getting a bunch of free damage, in my opinion, onto the DPS there. However, it was Sky picking up the first kill there for the Galactic Penguins. Kind of got everything going there. When they went back to dive comp, it seemed like the Galactic Penguins needed a fight to kind of reset and just be prepared for that dive comp there on Ruins. And then once they came back out, it seemed like they were in control throughout the rest of the map there, and some incredible plays coming out there from the Penguins. But you do have to give the Flashbacks a lot of credit. 99 to 99 on the third point there of Ilios. It could have gone either way there.
Absolutely, and we cannot forget how strong that lighthouse was, man. At 0 to 99 in favor of Flashbacks, just an absolutely dominant showing. To come back immediately from the very, very close loss on Well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just looking at how these two teams played here and looking at the questions I asked the coaches, definitely the Galactic Penguins did a good job on what their coach Bernie said that the player who they really need to watch out for from the Flashbacks, and they said they need to really focus on Pasty here. Yeah. They said, in their own words, Pacey has crazy positioning and mechanics. He's really improved since the start of the season. So a lot of respect between the coaches of these two teams here. And honestly, when the Galactic Penguins were able to find Pacey first, basically the Flashbacks kind of shortly fell after that. Pacey is such a big player for the Flashbacks, in my opinion, because they're playing this flex support and they're doing so well on it. If they get knocked out, it just kind of leaves the Flashbacks a little bit behind.
Yeah, you said it. Whether it's been on Kiriko, on the Batiste, on the Ana, Pasty's just been phenomenal so far. Despite the fact that we saw them lose that, I definitely think Pasty was one of the highlight players. And that's impressive to do when you're getting focused down by the enemy team. Just throwing that out there. But either way, next map, unsurprisingly, we're going to King's Row. I feel like every series I cast, the hybrid selection is always King's Row, and then every time I'm not casting, they actually go somewhere else. It's very funny.
In my opinion, it is not a true series. This isn't even part of the map yet. It is not a true series until we see a King's Row map here. And hey, it's a grand finals. Why not go to King's Row for our second map of the night?
You ain't wrong. You are not wrong in the slightest. This is a classic. Has been since day one. This map has, if I recall correctly, barely changed outside of this one little area that we've been looking at through a spectator camera for ages. Man, rest in peace, the PvE.
It's still coming.
It's still coming, but in a in a lesser form than what many of us hoped for. But either way, full dive for Flashbacks.
Yeah. And the Galactic Penguins, in my opinion, came out with that same comp that pretty much silenced the Flashbacks brawl comp on Ilios here. So this is going to be really interesting to see how the Galactic Penguins kind of handle this here, especially with Arsene coming out on the Sombra. Because you know, the only reason they're coming out on that Sombra here is to try to shut down Gizmo. Remember, the coach of the Flashbacks, Reborn, definitely said they have to try to shut down Gizmo here tonight. If Gizmo is able to just stay alive or keep themselves in fights here, it's going to be a rough night for them.
Yeah, this tank player just so proficient on so many different characters. Pasty, once again, the first to fall, by the way. I wanted to point that out. But 2 ticks have already gone in the favor of Flashbacks. So much progress has been afforded over to their side, and now the Galactic Penguins just now getting their Pharah back in the fight. There's a lot of damage going to be put down onto the point, onto the enemy team. And that res might just have been enough to stabilize your Dex.
Yeah, the Galactic Penguins will allow those 2 ticks to go there. Yeah, you know, maybe the second one wasn't what they wanted to give away. They're probably fine with giving away 1, but they didn't give up the whole point there. And Gizmo finding Glimpse out early. Again, the Galactic Penguins, whenever they are able to take out one of the supports for the Flashbacks, you immediately see the Flashbacks play a little bit differently. And this time, you're seeing them just fall back completely. And Gizmo, again, pile driving Milan into the ground there as Elixir finds Pasty. And there goes Schuster's mech. So the Flashbacks here gonna have to kind of regroup and look at the... Oh, you see the swap there for Schuster to get back in the mech there.
Yeah. And the damage at range from Doha on this Pharah has just been immaculate. So much damage being thrown in at a distance here, being able to take out multiple players, or at least chunk them down so that Sky is able to get have an easier time diving in to kill. Arsene very nearly going down there, but with the help of the Diva, gonna be able to put a little bit more pressure onto Elixir. No pick quite yet, though. More progress being made on the point here, but with Schuster losing the mech, you're in a little bit of trouble here. Glimpse looking relatively low. Worse for wear, but Sky is gonna go down to a mechless Schuster. Some good shots thrown out there, and that mech is damn near back. There it is.
I do like this minefield coming out here from Gizmo because they're down 1, now making 2 players. They're going to use that minefield. They're trying to get themselves some time here, but with more and more players falling here, the Galactic Penguins at this point just going to try to stall out as long as they can. Doa will find 1 there, still doing a good job here, finding damage and finding some kills, but Elixir falling there to Glimpse, and now it's just up for the Flashbacks to get rid of this Pharah in the Sky, who lived a long time without that pharmacy pocket there. But, you know, because of those kills coming in there so late for the Galactic Penguins, we're probably not going to see an Arches hold, as half their team got that far spawn.
Yeah, that is a little bit unfortunate. But real quick, I wanted to talk about the Pharah in the Sky up here. You were pointing out that she lived a long time without the help of the Mercy, and it made me realize something. They don't have an Ana either. They have a Kiriko. This character's not amazing at healing a Pharah in the Sky. Obviously, her healing a very slow-moving projectile, so really good on Doha to be able to stay alive consistently, even without the Mercy pocket. But now, gonna be sending in those damage-boosted rockets. Arsene looking for an EMP to take her out of the Sky, and it's gonna connect, but she's gonna fall to the other side of the building. unfortunate. And Schuster is not going to be able to get enough damage pressure down. There will not be enough damage to find a pick there, and Pasty will be the first to fall in the fight anyway.
Yeah, and the Galactic Penguins got really lucky there with both members that were in the sky falling on the other side of that roof there. Gizmo getting rid of that translocator there for Arsene. But one thing I want to talk about here, you know, the flashbacks. I think after they capped that first point there, they finally, in my opinion, swapped to a character that has some sort of counter there to a Pharah. Pasty going over to this Baptiste. Well, you don't necessarily want your Baptiste, you know, shooting at a Pharah for the most part. You know, you still need one character. Yeah, Milan and Arsene are there, but they're probably not the best to take care of a Pharah in the sky. However, the flashbacks do have 3 ultimates right now that could easily win them a team fight here fast. Sky finding Pasty is not what you want to see. Glimp's gonna force out the beat here to try to keep themselves alive with one. The barrage coming out, finds one, but Milan shuts down Doa right before that barrage ends. However, Sky able to find Milan right back. The bomb coming out here from Schuster will not find anyone, and Gizmo denies the remake.
What a great hold there. What a fantastic response from the Galactic Penguins, only having to use their barrage there. There were a couple ultimates thrown in there by the flashbacks, and none of them were enough to get over the line, but a single barrage. Fantastically done there. Now, 1:30 left for the flashbacks to get in, and they don't have a lot to work with.
Pasty just swapped on 90%.
Oh boy.
An interesting choice coming out here. I mean, if it works, hey, it works. Arsene finding Sky already off to a good start. The flashbacks need to go in on this because you know what's going to be coming out here from Elixir to try to keep the Galactic Penguins in this one down a man here. Now Milan focusing on Doa. The minefield's coming out from Gizmo around the cart, just trying to get any member of the flashbacks who wants to come touch cart to accidentally walk into there. And you see what it does to the flashbacks. It forces them to fall back a little bit, but Schuster's still trying to get some damage here as the Valkyrie being popped here by Shobi. The pulse bomb coming out here from Sky will not find anyone. Now you do see Schuster going up there. I believe it was after Elixir on that high ground, but Doa able to find Pasty. Schuster though able to trade out there for Sky. The EMP from Arsene here needs to be huge. It hits all 4 members of the Galactic Penguins. This is the opportunity the flashbacks have been looking for. They need to confirm the kills. Down goes Doa. Gizmo out as well. Now the flashbacks here just trying to clean up. Down goes Shelby, and it's all up to Elixir, but the Kariko can only do so much. Sky now back in this fight, just trying to kill some time here. They'll get hacked and punched in the face for their efforts, and the flashbacks capping the second point.
And they do that all off the back of Arsene's EMP super late into the fight. But hey, better late than never, and they do end up capturing the point. Now with 1:30 left, rolling through this next point is not going to be easy, especially working into the Junker Queen that we've all had question marks about. We're finally seeing it here, and it's going to be putting in a lot of damage here. Good axe swing onto that Diva. We also have a Torbjorn I didn't notice. Lots of damage pressure from that turret, but eventually it will go down. Good shots from Pasty. But Pasty himself goes down. The axe onto the Diva, gonna get hacked out. Not gonna happen yet. There's the bomb, just to ensure the remix staying in this fight for now. Gonna back around the corner here, just to make sure that they have time to reset.
So, talking about Doa going over to this Torp, you exactly know why they went to this Torp. Milan and Arsene, that DPS duo right there. Likes again in the backline. You throw a turret just somewhere in the backline.
Nice,
You're
Elixir.
destined to try to get them a stick coming out and finds
Milan.
2 from Milan. They go in, punch Gizmo to death there. Now they're trying to get rid of some more members here. Down goes Elixir, down goes Sky. It's a team kill here for the flashbacks. Less than 30 seconds left to go, and they're in the home stretch here.
20 seconds left. Just a couple more meters until they finish the map. An EMP on deck. A sound barrier to delay until then. But they absolutely have to be able to counteract this rampage from Gizmo. Out goes the Kitsune Rush. Not going to find any immediate value yet. There goes the turret from Doha. The EMP hits 4. Gizmo goes down with that ultimate in hand. Not going to be able to find anybody with it quite yet. Schuster into the backline, finding a pick, but then proceeding to lose the mech here. Elixir going down. This could be a full capture for the flashbacks. Not very much left to stall. A couple players go out, but there's the rampage. It hits a lot of players. The pulse bomb onto Milan as well, and nobody touches. They just barely are short of capturing this third point. on King's Road. The Galactic Penguins somehow coming out and holding.
Gotta give a lot of credit to Sky there, keeping that contest alive, allowing Gizmo to get back on the Jungle Queen there. That rampage was huge. It hit 3 people. And one thing I want to really talk about in that team fight there, Glimpse used the beat they had to instigate the team fight, not holding it for a little bit later when they probably would expect a bigger team fight to happen. They used it to get everything going. The Galactic Penguins immediately responded back with Elixir's Kasuni Rush, and that did help stop the cart a little bit, but they weren't necessarily finding the kills. The Flashbacks used all their ultimates really early to try to win that point, or to try to complete King's Row here, and they did a good job. They found the kills they needed to, but Sky and Elixir, or Sky and I believe it was Chobi, who was on the Lucio, I might be wrong about that.
I think you're right.
They did such a good job just contesting that cart, because really it all came down to, could Gizmo get back to use that rampage? And when they were able to get back and use it, it was such a key play for them there to prevent the Flashbacks from fully completing King's Row here. And now the Galactic Penguins have a win condition here going into their offensive push round.
I actually find it very interesting that Glimpse would choose to engage into that last fight with the beat. That's not really something we've seen regularly done since, what, 2018? Somewhere in that neighborhood? A beat engage is just not common these days. Definitely much more reliable as a reaction tool, but and that could have costed them there, not being able to use that early. But Gizmo, not gonna opt towards this Doomfist. You hate to see it. Or maybe I just hate to see it. I don't know. I'm a big Doomfist fan. We are seeing the Junker Queen instead. Unsurprising, it is a rush map. Or at least a map where rush can be played. Oh, this Sombra gets caught out super early. Doesn't teleport out!
That's not what you wanted to see. Arsene needed to teleport out, like you said there. This gives the Galactic Penguins such a huge advantage, though. You're going to see them immediately take this fight to the point the Flashbacks get a play it safe, fall back a little bit. The Ice Wall coming out there from Doa will at least guarantee them a tick before you see Chuster come back in here. But just look at that shout. It hits 4 members of the Galactic Penguins there. They're able to get rid of Chuster's mech, and then down goes Chuster's life there. Whoever, Chobi might have flown a little bit too close to the sun there, but it doesn't matter as their team continues to pick up kill after kill here.
I respect it, Chobi. You may have gone down, but I respect that so much. The attempt at just going super aggressive in their backline, it didn't work this time. But hey, do it again. See what happens. You know what I mean? Go for it again. There's no Bionate to mess you up this time, as Pasty is going to be swapping over to the Batiste. No more Ana shenanigans. We're back to the Immortal character.
Yeah, and honestly, the Flashbacks getting off that dive there, they needed to, especially even with the Galactic Penguins completely getting off that rush comp there. Now they're going back to this ball comp that worked really well against this brawl comp that the Flashbacks wanted to run on the third point of Ilios. So it's going to be a really interesting thing to see how the Flashbacks take this next engagement here.
They're going to be looking to rush in and cut off somebody from the team with the wall, but it's really hard to cut off the Wrecking Ball when he can just grapple up above it. Oh my word, the grapple up above. He's gonna go up and over. Down goes Milan. Chuster and Pasty very close to follow. This has been very dominant from Galactic Penguins so far. This is just absurd from them.
And something I talked about after Ilios.
Again.
Something I talked about after Ilios, Gizmo on the ball was just able to have kind of free range to the backline of the Flashbacks on Ruins, and the Flashbacks didn't necessarily seem to care. And look at what it did there. It led to 2 kills and a fight win. And the Galactic Penguins right now just are putting that foot down on the gas pedal here. Continue just to go here. Chuster, like you said, swapping over to the Diva, but here comes Mirage. It finds 1, it finds 2, but it's 2 huge picks. It's a 5. Portland, Chuster getting D-Mech. Milan will find 1, but that might be the only thing the Flashbacks get to say about this team fight.
This is the most value I've seen a Farah get in ages. Probably since that short story of hers came out. The most the community has thought about Farah in that long. But now, 5 minutes, Dex. 5 minutes to capture almost all of this point. And Galactic Penguins are in a prime position to take this map.
Yeah, the flashbacks at this point are just confused at what they're seeing here. They have not really had a good response to anything yet, but Arsene able to find Doa there is a huge pick for them. The minefields will come out from Gizmo, and it finds Milan. Milan must have recalled back into that. The pulse bomb coming out from Sky will find one. Milan's back in the fight, but you do lose Arsene there, and the Galactic Penguin just continue to push this card here while forcing the flashbacks back. And look, Sky getting very aggressive there, going after Glimpse. That's what you need to do here. The Consumer Rush and the Valkyrie being invested here by the Galactic Penguins. They want to try to get this card as close to the end as they can. Glimpse is down, it's up to Pacey. Here comes the bomb from Schuster, but it's only gonna be a remaking tool here. Oh, Elixir getting a little bit too close there, but not dying. Doa though, able to take care of Arsene again. And the Galactic Penguins here, not slowing down. Milan though, will shut them down here for a little bit. The stick though, coming out there on the Joey. That will probably stop the Galactic Penguins push here.
For now, at least, Milan is the hero. A couple of clutch picks exactly when you needed to find them. Sky just gonna stand still, knows he's not escaping. But what a play from Milan. That one clip onto Doha, the pulse bomb onto Chobi to ensure that the res couldn't happen. And now we're gonna see a couple swaps coming out from the side of the Galactic Penguins. This is good. If there was a time to swap, now is that time. But you really need to stick to these characters now, just to ensure that you have the ultimates to work with when you need them.
No, in my opinion, the Galactic Penguins doing the swap is absolutely perfect for them, because look at what it does. It forces out both support ultimates and the duplicate there from Arsene. Sky able to find Schuster there, but Schuster immediately able to get back in the fight. The duplicate gone as well. Gizmo going all in. Elixir finds Milan, and the Galactic Penguins making use of these swaps here. The flashbacks now might have to make some swaps just to try to get back in this one, but that ice wall there is perfect, because look at what it does. It allows the Galactic Penguins here to push. Less than 5 meters away now. The flashbacks finally coming back to the point here. Doa getting out the ice block to keep themselves alive here. Sky just trying to get Schuster out of their mech. They're going to be able to do that, but here comes the rampage. It hits 3. Schuster out. Arsene out. Glimpse out. Gizmo here. Finding 4. Can they find the 5th? They find 5th. It's an ace, and the Galactic Penguins will go up 2-0 in this series.
Gizmo literally went nuclear. Gizmo, absolutely the hero, swapping to Junker Queen, and in one fight, I repeat, one fight, charging up that entire rampage, and then proceeding to do this. Oh my god. Absolutely nuclear from him. Fantastically done. And hits the axe at the end too for the cherry on top. That is perfect. And now the Galactic Penguins, the 10th seed in the original bracket, the 10th seed! They're up 2-0 over the flashbacks going into map 3, Dex.
I mean, and you have to give the Galactic Penguins a lot of credit here. When you talked about them swapping over to all those characters they did there at the end, I thought, you know what, this is the perfect time. If you lose a team fight, you still have over 3 minutes in that time bag to maybe adjust it a little bit more, tweak it a little bit more, try to find a good balance there. The flashbacks, because they played so passively, or the Diva and I believe both supports got up there on that high ground, they really put themselves in a corner there. They couldn't do a lot. They had to come engage the Galactic Penguins on the point, and that's exactly what the Galactic Penguins wanted. You had Gizmo there with that rampage, and look who it hit. It hit a DPS, a tank, and a support. All 3 of those members died within 4 seconds of that rampage coming out there, and then it was just up to the Galactic Penguins just to clean it up from there. And Gizmo did not allow the members of the flashbacks to live much longer than that. But I mean, this has to be a shock here to the flashbacks. They have been a really good team throughout the playoffs here. Like I said, both these teams coming into this series on a hot streak. I feel like the Galactic Penguins, though, just threw the first punch and were able to land it, and now the flashbacks kind of dazed, trying to regain their composure here.
Yeah, they are looking a little dazed and confused as a much more legendary caster than I would say. And let's take a look at these replays here. A lot of fantastic plays from both sides on this map. The flashbacks definitely not going down without a little bit of a fight here. But I think that I have to... I gotta point out a little bit of a weak spot here. Arsene Sombra, every so often, made a play. There were plays like this one, the 4-man EMP, that were perfect and opened up the fight amazingly for the Galactic Penguins. But there were other times, like 1v1ing the Kiriko and losing to give the Penguins their first fight win on attack. There were moments like going up and trying to EMP the Pharah and the Mercy out of the sky and falling on the other side there, and just, I don't know. There were a couple moments from Arsene, like right there. There were a couple moments from Arsene where I was like, I don't know about that one, Chief. I really don't know about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I questioned the Sombra pick a little bit there as well, especially, you know, coming out on defense with it. Yeah, you can make it work, but they needed to get out of that one. They could not lose to Elixir there early because, like you said, that was basically the first team fight done and dusted once they fell there, and the team fight had really not even started yet.
Nope.
But still, I feel like the Flashbacks are still in this series here. They just need to win a map here. And map 3 is our final map before we head into overtime. So this is a big map for them because they don't want to go down. They don't want to go into overtime with their backs against the wall, down 3-0, and having to reverse sweep to even have a chance at being the Season 10 champions.
Yeah, you don't want to be in that reverse sweep scenario. Having to win, winning map 4, that's doable because it's your map pick. Winning maps 5, 6, and 7, those are the Galactic Penguins map picks. That is a very difficult thing to do. But in the way of their map picks, Flashbacks have opted to go to Junkertown here. A very, very different map from what we've seen previously. Obviously, Brawl, can be run here, but it's much more likely that we see the Poke.
Yeah, and honestly, in my opinion, this is a DPS player's map. The last couple maps you could kind of argue was a tank player's map, maybe a support player's map, but this is definitely a DPS player's map. And when I asked the questions to the coaches here tonight, the Flashbacks coach said that the most important matchup tonight will be between the two DPS lines here. So they definitely picked this map because they want to show off that their DPS line is better than the Galactic Penguins DPS line.
And they can totally do it too. Sky has rolled out on the Widowmaker, much to nobody's surprise. It is Junkertown after all. But the more surprising pick here is the Torbjorn from Doha. We did see a little bit of this character previously, but I don't know if I agree with it fully here, you know? Maybe it works against a dive comp or something like that, but against a Hanzo and a Zenyatta, this turret is not going to survive very long.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there. But, you know, it might just be... It really depends on where Doha is able to place this one. Because maybe the Galactic Penguins are expecting the Flashbacks to come out here with something that they came out with on King's Row. That's that Tracer
and my God.
Sombra. But Be Well here, able to find Doha. That is exactly how the Flashbacks needed to start this round here. However, they are kind of forgetting one thing until Be Well finally jumps down onto the card.
Gee, guys, we're winning the fight. What could we be forgetting, possibly? The objective of the map? Oh no. But it's fine. They are moving the cart forward now. There's a Zenyatta on it. There's a Widowmaker on it. And that first pick from Be Well is a really great start. But Scott, they're gonna clap. Ooh. They're gonna continue to clap back here. Be Well finding another headshot onto Doha here. And a body shot onto Elixir. Puts him real low. Forced to burn that regeneration. But yeah, he's in trouble. This has been extremely dominant from the side of the from the side of Flashbacks, excuse me, so far. Definitely showing why they picked this map.
Yeah, like I said, this map definitely a DPS player's map, and you're seeing exactly why it is right there. Be Well and Milan finding all the picks they need to do there to really help them push that cart. And that was a very fast first first point push there. And you're already seeing the swaps come out here from the Galactic Penguins. I really do like that they're going back to this ball comp. I imagine Doha's swapping as well as the Torb has not gone any value.
Okay. I was about to start being actually upset, get off of the Torbjorn. But now we're on to the Genji. I don't know how much better that is, but at least it's not Torbjorn here. The Galactic Penguins are going to be opting into a full-blown dive here, complete with the Discord Orb, complete with the Wrecking Ball. But out comes the infrasight, and now it's going to be a whole lot more difficult to dive because they know exactly where you are. Now, Sky going down first in the fight is pretty bad for them, but if anything, they know that the Wrecking Ball is here, but still could poke out and deal a little bit of disruption, like you say he's so good at doing, Dex. Going into the high ground.
And honestly, at this point, if they allow Gizmo just to kind of have free range on the backline, they're going to lose this fight. But hey, look at that. Pasty and Milan, they're able to take care of Gizmo, shutting them down. And now the Flashbacks just continue to find kill after kill here. And I think the Galactic Penguins are still searching for their first pick of this map.
I believe you're correct. I don't think that they have found a single kill thus far. Despite having that Widowmaker initially, despite swapping to this full dive composition, despite having so many tools that are able to efficiently take down characters like Widowmaker, like Hanzo, like an enemy Zenyatta, they just haven't found that value yet. Crucially, by the way, Be Well is going to swap over to the Sombra now. We're not going to be seeing any more Widow from him. But Elixir going down that quickly is not what you want to see. Your flex support is gone. You no longer have a consistent amount of healing. Chovy is all that's left. There's the amplification matrix. There's going to be shooting damage through there. If you can find anything here, Chooser, it's absolutely massive. But Gizmo goes down elsewhere. There literally hasn't been a kill for the side of the Galactic Penguins, Dex.
Okay, wait, let's see this. The Flashbacks currently doing a one-life challenge here on Junkertown. And honestly, you know, one thing I want to say right now before we get too far into it, Be Well coming in for Arsene here on this Sombra. They were on the Widowmaker first, got a lot of value, forcing out the Transcendence here from them. So maybe the Flashbacks starting to feel some pressure for the first time here. Minefield coming out here from Gizmo on point, but here comes the flux from Chooser. But there goes one member. It's Milan, but you do see Chooser able to find Elixir there. Pasty finds Doa.
Oh, no.
And oh no, the Galactic Penguins and Flashbacks in a small room. That's not where you want to be if you're any character, Sky, though, able to find Pasty there. So the Galactic Penguins here finally starting to win a team fight, kind of stabilizing it out a little bit. The Transcendence coming out from Chovy is a little bit of an interesting use of that, in my opinion. I felt like they had that team fight won there. That might not have been the best time to use that, but we're getting a pause here.
All right, Dex, I got a question for you before I make this reference. You ever watch Sesame Street as a kid?
I probably did, but I'm 24, so I don't remember.
Fair enough. 1 to pick, 2 pick, 3 pick, 4 pick. They got 4 picks. And that's all they needed to hold eventually. But for now, Galactic Penguins, they're sitting at 4 eliminations. 4! And they were all on 3rd point. Flashbacks definitely picked Junkertown for a reason. It is a sniper's heaven, and that is where they are stronger than Galactic Penguins. They are showing that right off the bat. Now, obviously, we did see a swap over onto the Sombra. It is looking pretty rough for them right now. They still have a lot of time to hold on to this one. But Galactic Penguins, they finally got picks. They finally got a fight win. And now they have this pause. I imagine there's like a technical difficulty on one side or another. But
yeah.
They got time to think about it. And this is important time. This is important time being drained here. We're back finally. But look at where the cart is and how much further it has to go in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, right now the Galactic Penguins actually do have kind of the advantage, spawns and everything where that cart is. Yeah, the Flashbacks could try just to straight line it under the spinning wheel here and try to get straight back to the cart and force the fight. But you see Be Well does have this EMP ready to go. And everyone for the Galactic Penguins kind of just hovering on the high ground, so this could be a very dangerous EMP. I thought Be Well might have let the voice inside his head there just go on cart, but the EMP comes out. It finds no one. It finds Milan there, but the EMP finds no one there, and the Galactic Penguins taking advantage of it right now.
Where did it go? Where did it go, Dex? I saw it. It was there. Chovy was right there. What? Excuse me? Where was the pulse? Not the pulse, I'm sorry. Where was the EMP? Where was it?
Okay, if you're Be Well, you're resetting after that. You're already 20% to another EMP here. You can get one fast. 2 minutes though on the clock. basically, the Flashbacks just kind of wasted a minute there. And look at what this does. The Galactic Penguins finally able to win two team fights here, getting that momentum built back up. And now they have this confidence. They're back on this comp, which worked really well for them on King's Row. And the Flashbacks still struggle against it. They need to try to get something here in early pick. Schuster's Flux here needs to be huge whenever they use it. They need to try to shut down the support line, in my opinion, because Elixir and Chobi have done great so far this series.
They have absolutely been doing well here to shut this sort of thing down. That is a Rampage opportunity if I've ever seen one. 4 players hit by that one. A lot of damage goes through for Gizmo, and the Gravitic Flux is not going to do anything. The Flux got thrown at... Wait, the cart? It's not gonna finish. The cart moved too far back for that to happen. B-Well's not gonna escape, but the movement of that cart could end up being important with 1:13 left.
Yeah, but that also lets the Galactic Penguins know that the Flashbacks are trying to look for that C9 here. So it's going to force some of the Galactic Penguins players to kind of play back on this high ground. That will allow the Flashbacks to get back into this fight here, or back into this final part of this phase here, and try to get a fight going up here. But Gizmo now taking the fight straight to him. That damage rate is not going to find anything. The Pulse Bomb gets saved there by that
Gizmo.
Gizmo, though, picking up right where they left off. Finds 2, forcing the Flashbacks to fall back here. Glimpse, though, does find Chobi, and now the Flashbacks taking the fight to the card here as there's 30 seconds left to go. Gizmo on a rampage, even without using the ultimate here.
This is absolutely absurd. They've gotten all the picks they need to. Chobi even throws in the beat for extra measure. I don't know that you needed that one, Chobi.
No.
But either way, you still have a couple ultimates to work with in the next 15 seconds here. Milan is coming back with a Dragon Strike, but that is it for the Flashbacks. They swap to the May. Can they even get a touch without that Tracer? Schuster has to be the one to do it. They're going to be fine. They're going to get it eventually. But the early blade has it. Milan goes down. The blade going to be going back to the point here. B-Well's going to find Elixir, but Doha's not going to find anything with that blade.
Another rampage coming out here from Gizmo. They got that one fast, but the Flashbacks finding the kills they need here. The rampage won't necessarily find anyone here. B-Well finding a lot of value with this May. Pacey finds Gizmo. B-Well shuts down Elixir. The Flashbacks, this is the same scenario that we saw here on King's Row. Sky still alive. Milan shuts them down. Doha coming back and tries to stall out this cart as long as they can. They get denied. Now we're trying to see more members of the Galactic Penguins get back, but there will not be enough members this time as the Flashbacks complete the map. But they do it in overtime, considering they had over 5 minutes to push that cart on this third point.
And yeah, Galactic Penguins, they did a great job of holding with that composition for as long as they did. But that raises a question here, Dexatron. The Flashbacks proved that they are far more proficient on this double sniper poke comp than the Galactic Penguins are. Can the Penguins force their comfort composition that they held for so long with on the first 2 points? Because if they can get to the third point, we've seen how well they can play here with that dive, but I don't know if they're even going to be able to make it that far. It's going to be a difficult... It's an uphill battle for sure, but they can't just force that dive because point A, point B, they're too open. Flashbacks can just play back with their snipers, and even if you have a Tracer, you can't approach that as easily. So Galactic Penguins do look like they're going to be rolling out with the double sniper Ramatra. At least that's what they're hinting at for now.
And basically, these first 2 points really all comes down to positioning, especially with these sniper characters of Widowmaker and Hanzo here. Now, we saw the Flashbacks, B-Well and Milan, proficient, really, really good on the attack here. D.Va coming out here for the Galactic Penguins, I don't hate it, because it eats up a lot of damage and allows them to get straight to this card.
Oh,
you
no.
immediately see Sky going off the Widowmaker there, going over to the Tracer, but Milan just denies Chobi as they walk out the spawn doors here. But the Galactic Penguins are pushing the cart here a little bit, and the Flashbacks gonna pretty much allow the Penguins to push this cart up here, up until you get to this choke point, and then you'll see them kind of start to collapse here and try to contest this cart.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's the right play here, right? This is such a ridiculously strong choke point. So hard for the attackers to get around unless they have characters who can quickly get picks. Like, for example, a Widowmaker or a Hanzo, right? Doha's still on this Hanzo, But Sky, interestingly enough, opting to go for this Tracer. Not able to consistently put pressure onto these snipers unless you go around to the high ground, though. Gizmo falling super low, so is Sky. Where is Sky here? Doesn't matter. Doha's gonna find B-Well right off the bat. That's a good opening pick for you. Still have a Hanzo to deal with, but that is one sniper out of the way.
Yeah, and you immediately see what that does to the flashbacks. It forces them to kind of play back a little bit, especially
Pasty?
with Sky finding Pasty there again. And Doha now finding the headshots onto Milan. Glimpse gonna be just taken out there by Sky with some help there from Gizmo. Juslo does find Shobi, however, in the end, I don't necessarily think that will matter as Gizmo being able to dive up there onto the high ground takes care of B-Well, and now the Galactic Penguins getting the kills they need here to continue pushing this card. However, we might see a little bit of a late contest come out here from the Flashbacks. I don't know if that's the smartest thing for them, but they might just try to get some damage here.
I mean, with Schuster getting those 2 picks here, then there's an opportunity for a recontest to happen. In fact, there it is. Out goes Glimpse and Milan just a touch for a little while. Down goes the Dragon Strike, but with Milan going down to those Storm Arrows, I don't think it'll happen. Good from Elixir. Fantastically placed Kunai in that instance. Pasty finding a headshot onto Doha as well. And with Pasty and Schuster going down, this capture will roll through. And the Galactic Penguins, I gotta say, they're doing better than I thought they would on this Tracer so far.
Yeah, they've actually got a lot of value out of it, especially with Milan and B-Well both running those essentially one-shot headshot characters there. Not really able to shut down Sky other than one time there. Did really good. Elixir, though, able to find that nice kill there. I believe it was on to B-Well. And actually, Elixir is a player that the head coach, or one of the coaches for the Galactic Penguins, talks about as being one of the most improved players here for them so far since the playoffs have started. In their own words, that they have improved 100 times in the gameplay aspect so far. And they're really showing it out here tonight. However, the Galactic Penguins coming into the next engagement here with a couple ultimates. Doha, though, finds a huge pick on the Schuster. The bomb coming out from Gizmo just as a remecking tool will not find anyone, and they're able to get back in the mech. Sky's pulse bomb finds Milan, and the Galactic Penguins doing the exact same thing the Flashbacks did on point 2 push here, finding kill after kill, and essentially it's gonna be one team fight and done here in my opinion.
All right, I gotta say, I'm impressed. I'll hold the L. I genuinely thought they were going to get rolled on these first 2 points without that Widowmaker. But Sky on this Tracer is finding value. Doha is putting so much work in to find these early picks. And now they are rolling into 3rd point with a very similar time bank to what Flashbacks had initially. Flashbacks, though, crucially do have 4 ultimates, almost 5 to work with. So could very well still go their way. Don't count them out.
Yeah, the Flashbacks, in my opinion, need the exact same thing that the Galactic Penguins need at this point. They need a good restabilizing team fight win here. They just need to win a team fight, and they'll be right back in this one. You see B-Well almost getting taken out there by Sky. Doha incredibly low as the damage risk comes out here from Glimpse on this high ground. Usually going to deal as much damage and heal as much as they can here. Sky, though, able to keep themselves alive here. Now pushing the card all by themselves here. Chiefs are actually in a very interesting position because it basically allows the entirety of the Galactic Penguins there to try to get them, but the pulse bomb comes down for B-Well, doesn't find anyone, but it does get the beat out there from Shobi right now. Here comes the Flux and the Transcendence from the Flashbacks, trying to find anyone they possibly can here. It won't find anyone, but everyone's still alive. Pace, though, able to find Elixir, and this is exactly what the Flashbacks needed. Down goes Gizmo, Shobi, and now Schuster just gonna kind of bully Doha, but Doha actually able to find B-Well.
Finding B-Well on the way out. That's honestly funny more than anything. Now, the problem I see here is the fact that they used all 4 of the ultimates that they were supposed to have going into that fight. And now Galactic Penguins are rolling in with 3. They only have the Dragon Strike to attempt to shut this down. And I don't think we're going to be seeing a proper level Dragon Strike here. Not quite going to happen.
I mean, if Milan can put it perfectly, it could be very dangerous. And it finds one. That's exactly who they need to get rid of there because they had their Custodian Rush ready to go here. The Galactic Penguins going to have to try to play this a little bit safer now. Sky falling as well. Schuster's out, but it doesn't matter as the Flashbacks continue to find pick after pick here. Gizmo going to get demeched here. Are they going to be staggered out here? Or do they end their life fast? Actually, no. They're going to allow Gizmo to run back to their team here.
I mean, it makes sense. You just let her either poke for her mech or swap back and forth. It looks like they are going to opt to swap back and forth, or maybe they're just going to swap entirely. All right, Gizmo going over to this Junker Queen that we know them so well for. a lot harder to pressure the high ground with this character, but that is why you swap over to the Genji rather than the Hanzo for Doha. But going forward, it'll be interesting to see if this does end up working out or not. Gizmo gonna be looking on that character, but Milan and Pasty once again finding opening picks here. Gizmo's gonna find B-Well, but it's not gonna be enough.
Gizmo's been so good on Jungle Queen so far this series. Yeah, they found 1 kill, but they're able to escape there. B-Will, I believe, kind of considered using their Pulse Bomb there onto Gizmo, but they really thought smartly about it, decided not to use it there. Their team had already won the team fight. Yeah, they end up falling here, but in the end, you know, everyone on the Galactic Penguins had to fall back as well here. But look at this. Already 3 minutes ticked off that time bank right now. 1:40 left to go here for the Galactic Penguins. The Flashbacks doing really good so far, not even allowing this card to get halfway, and now the Flashbacks here, or the Galactic Penguins, trying to go on the high ground. Everyone, though, for the Galactic Penguins, kind of just trying to wait out and see what happens here. They're sitting in the stairwell right now, trying to think what's the best play here.
Well, they're just waiting out everything, right? There was a window in play, so they definitely couldn't push that, but now it's time to go. Now that it's gone, you're in a much better position. Doha does get rocked there, but he will eventually fall. Not enough support to keep him alive, and the kick off the high ground from Pasty onto Gizmo. Really well done. The Transcendence as well to delay for a long time here. Whole lot of damage going out, but not enough. Gizmo's gonna find a pick onto Glimpse. Out goes the Flux in a losing fight. It does take out a couple players, though. It's a 3-for-3 trade. It's the DPS versus a tank and a Tracer. And with Sky going down, it is gone. It is 40 seconds left. And it is dire straits for the Galactic Penguins.
It is not a losing fight as long as Schuster is still in the fight there. But one thing I want to really talk about, Pasty had to use a Transcendence to keep themselves alive in that last engagement. That's going to come back to bite them here. No Transcendence, especially with Gizmo having a Rampage ready to go. And if everyone on the Flashbacks tries to play this high ground again, but Schuster firing a huge hit on the Shelby. And the Pulse Bomb!
What a Rampage.
Schuster coming alive here for their team in a round and a map where they desperately need it. Schuster finds 3. They're looking for more here. We're in final fight territory at the moment. It's only Sky and Gizmo. They're just going to try to play this safe, stall it out for as long as they can here. They get the touch, but Gizmo gets incredible shouts to keep themselves alive here, but Glimpse will take care of them. Now they're trying to get rid of Chobi on this Lucio. Sky recalls to keep themselves alive. Sky does find Pasty, a huge pick here for the Galactic Penguins. Pulse Bomb coming out. It will find Chobi even without the stick. Schuster able to boulder Elixir. That Sky though finds one, but B-Well punches them right back. The Flashbacks getting a map they desperately need here heading into halftime.
As you say, crucial, absolutely crucial map win here for the Flashbacks. They needed this one, otherwise they were in a damn near impossible situation. A reverse sweep in a best-of-7 series is not something we've seen very often in the history of Overwatch esports. Really, all that comes to mind is like, what, didn't the Dragons pull that off against Dynasty at one point in like season 3 or something like that? I don't remember the details, but either way, we're not going to be seeing that situation here, and that's really important for the Flashbacks because now they go in to this next bit with a little bit more wiggle room.
Yeah, but you know, even with the Flashbacks kind of denying having to do a reverse sweep here, there is a team in this series right now that has been in a situation where they've had to reverse sweep. It was the Galactic Penguins in the final round of the knockout stages against I think it was Pause Champs. They had to reverse sweep them to get into this championship bracket here. And they were able to do it then, so it can happen, but, you know, having the difference between 3 and 4 maps, it's very difficult. But like we've been saying, Flashbacks desperately needed this one. They definitely picked this map because it allowed their DPS to do the talking.
Yes.
And they definitely showed why throughout Junkertown, why they want their DPS to be the ones making all the noise.
Absolutely, it did. And we have our wonderful desk to break things down for us here at halftime. So don't go anywhere. Map 4 going to be coming right after this little halftime segment.
the match. Lots of big storylines.
Yeah. Shout out Laggy. This guy's been really good with the Twitch team. He's been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Really, really awesome person, and does a lot for this league. So shout out to this guy right here. And now that we're done with introductions, we can move on straight away into this awesome match that's been happening. Galactic Penguins 2, Flashbacks 1. Let's start off with a relatively simple question. What do you guys think of the players so far? Who is your one big player that you think has been doing really well this match so far?
Who do you want to go first?
Let's start like this. We'll go Missile, and we'll go Karma, and then we'll end off with the best for last, Laggy. I'll go ahead and put after Laggy.
Okay. The obvious starter here is Gizmo, Himzo, common nickname. Fantastic tank, able to play Junker Queen, able to play Diva. Most importantly, saw a lot of strengths there on Ilios, and then in the last as well. But overall, the entire time, the way he's able to diff and go about Chuster is super hard to do because Chuster's a pretty good tank, right? But like the way that fucking friggin' Gizmo's able to go about creating sightlines, and most importantly, the line of scrimmage that he's able to create, just going it goes to above and beyond. But Karma, who would be your strongest player?
I have to go for the other side on Flashbacks. I have to go for Milan. Obviously carried, basically did as much as they could do on King's Row. Tried to get them to win that map, kicking and screaming. On map 3, they should have slowed down a little bit on the Hanzo, but overall, I think they've been playing great, and I'm excited to watch them for the rest of the series.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I would say my player of the match so far is definitely Chuster. We've been seeing him kick butt in all 3 maps so far, especially, fresh in all of our memories, the end of Junkertown there. Absolute heroics by him. Definitely played a huge part in not making it 3-0 right now. So helping with team momentum going into the other half.
Yeah, Chuster, big time player, was playing in Discord tier a few seasons ago. So really big name in this Tranquility community. I personally, there are still some really good players left on the field. Sky, Doha, Arsene. But me personally, I'm gonna go with the main support duel between Chobi and Glimpse. These two have been fantastic at their role. Glimpse, obviously already a really good main support, especially in Harmony tier. We've seen them talk about Glimpse a lot in other casts and other matches. I think they've been incredible this season. But Chobi, also a really good main support, highly undervalued, I think, because they've actually role swapped this season off of tank to main support. And I think that the value that Chobi's been providing on Galactic Penguins as their main support player has been incredibly well. So I think the storyline of Galactic Penguins main support versus Flashbacks main support is actually really crazy. And I think that honestly, it's looked really good. So there's that. We can move on to the next section. I think we can start a debate here. Who do you guys think right now is the most undervalued player on, just in general, this entire lobby? Undervalued. Let's start off. Yeah, I'll put in my 2 cents first. All right. I think when it comes to undervalued, I've been seeing a lot of things coming from Doha. I think this man has been crazy on Pharah. I think the Pocket Pick Pharah Echo has come out. Well, I guess it's not Pocket Pick anymore, but it's been really crazy. We've seen even some flashes of life with the Genji come out. So I don't know. I think me personally, this man has been going off. What do you guys think?
That's a pretty fair point. That's a pretty fair point. But I mean, although I do want, you did bring up Chobi earlier, which is kind of a strong point. But I do want to bring out the Chobi for that. The way that Chobi's able to go about this is why it makes him somewhat undervalued. I feel like being able to pull off Mercy Kiriko to the extent they're able to pull off a Mercy Kiriko, especially when Doha wants to run something like a Pharah or like a flying character. If your Mercy's on top of that game, bro, half the time you don't even have to oh my gosh, being able to get the damage amplifications, the res is off, all without having to just pocket the flying character. They're able to go all around, and that gives them the pace, the tempo. It's to the maximum. Who dare contest the Chobi undervalue?
I will, honestly, because I feel like in the first map for Ilios, I feel like Chobi was getting a little bit punished. Obviously, you did say they switched over from tank to main support. Getting that, they sort of went a little bit too far with Doha, so I have to give it to the other sport, in my opinion, for Galactic Penguin. Somebody that we haven't talked about at all. Elixir has been popping off, hasn't really died all that much. They've been able to stay alive, even though they've been getting dove 24/7 from Flashbacks. They've been able to get some kills, keep their team alive, and I think we saw it on King's Row as well, with them coming out at the very end and being able to stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with the Doha or with the Chobi pick, but I would say toward the end, we were seeing some good picks from Pastry too, or Pasty. Really good trances, good offense too, which is always good from a Zenyatta. So definitely someone to think about.
I mean, I said we started a debate and then we all picked 4 different players. That's actually kind of crazy.
I mean,
Hey, I got someone to agree with me. I got someone to agree with me.
Okay, all right. I'll side with you on this one. I do think Chobi has been pretty undervalued because of the role swap. I think he's been very underestimated this season. I'll side with McMissile on this one. Chobi's been very good.
And obviously, we highlight Chobi, but Karma makes a pretty good point with bringing up Elixir.
Yeah.
Holy, you can't run a good Mercy Kiriko without a good Kiriko to go with that. Elixir, super solid. You did bring up the sustainabilities throughout Junktown, but also the changes of tempo. Which one do you how do you how if you were Chooster or anything like that? How on earth would you go about such a tempo team that is Galactic Penguins? How would you even create a good resilience against it? On Junkertown it went well, but on Junkertown once it's third point, you kind of get the momentum on third point when on defense.
I mean, I think we kind of saw Flash of Life on that, and Ilios, second round where we had Xeno mirror the Pharah and the Echo. I think they looked really well. I think another player to give a small shout out here that I think has been undervalued so far in this series is Xeno or S10. That guy has been popping off. I think when he mirrors Doha, he's looked at his best. And honestly, I don't know why Flashbacks haven't tried to continue mirroring that Pharah and Echo, because I think they've looked so good on it. They could probably even take a map off of Galactic Penguins at their own comp, even if they're playing that Pharah comp, which is supposed to be Galactic Penguin's strength. So honestly, I don't see that. Why they don't.
Yeah, and especially too on second point, Ilias, you were pointing out to it. I think that was Galactic Penguin's worst map that we've seen. I think Junkertown was very good, but I think second point on Lighthouse, I think Galactic Penguins showed their weakness against that against that sort of same mirror comp, and I think that Flashbacks, if they bring it back, especially heading into the second half, I think they could take a few maps off and especially show that start to the crack in the facade that is Galactic Penguins.
Yeah, obviously. This year's going to 4 maps now. It might even very well go to 7. But this year's been looking really good. Yeah. Okay. What were you saying, McMissile?
The lighthouse post was a really good point because oh my god, our scene running on Pharah, it went crazy. But the thing about it started out somewhat vulnerable. The Pharah pick didn't necessarily work on the first map of Ilios, but then because GP were able to just outpace them because of the support facility again. But then on the second map, that's when Chooster really came into the mix. Laggy was highlighting on Chooster as well. Oh my god, Chooster on the Diva. That's what was that was the difference maker in that mirror matchup for those Flyers. But yeah, we don't have a lot of time left. But holy.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to everybody, McMissile, Karma, and Mr. Laggy Son himself. Thank you guys so much for watching halftime, and back to the cast. I hope you enjoy the rest of this game. Let's go.
We need more time.
We actually do.
Tonight one might be a little bit better at the end. We can talk about the losing team a little bit.
Yeah.
Bring that one up.
Yeah, I'm with it. Also, to clarify, is this the 10th season or the 11th season of Trank? I forgot.
All right, welcome back, everyone, from that halftime break. Thank you so much to Dabmaster, McMissile, Karma, and special guest Laggy there.
Special guest Laggy.
Special guest Laggy, the best special guest there possibly could ever be for any one of these things here.
Yep.
But, Gedster, we have ourselves a series on our hands here now. The Flashbacks winning Junkertown there, a map that both me and you said they desperately needed to win here to give themselves a shot here in the rest of the series.
Yeah, they absolutely needed it to avoid the reverse sweep scenario, and they've done that now. But now, Galactic Penguins, they've opted to go to Colosseo. Now, it makes a lot of sense, because when we've seen the Penguins playing those brawl maps, they've been amazing, right? The Junker Queen has been on point. It's just been... What I'm getting at here is Colosseo is like the perfect map for this. There's no reason you wouldn't pick this. It makes a lot of sense. No Esperanza shenanigans, no new Queen Street shenanigans. It is a pure rush map. It is time for Colosseo. This is where you go if you want to put yourself on match point. And Flashbacks, they're looking a little scared. I gotta admit.
I mean, I won't say they're looking scared. I think that last map was such a big map for them that we talked about it in enough detail that we'll just leave it at that. They have a 1 in the scoreboard right now. That's all that matters to them here. The Galactic Penguins, though, throughout the first 3 maps, I would say have been the better looking team overall. The Flashbacks definitely, you know, bounced back a little bit there on Junkertown, but they need to show us a little bit more here on Colosseo.
They need to. They absolutely have to here. And these compositions are not what I was expecting here, Dex. We're seeing a couple dive tanks roll out. Well, I mean, D.Va is more of an anti-dive tank these days. That's how her personal meta has sort of evolved, but I can definitely see the value in picking this into Gizmo's Wrecking Ball. We'll see how it goes, but Arsene on this Sombra has spotted out the ball at this point. They know exactly where he is. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Arsene knows this. There's no translocator in play. Arsene's in danger. Will go down. Good hunt there from Sky. Gonna immediately find the translocator and take it out of the equation. No dive for you. And now the ball. Gonna get that health back. Nobody moving this robot just yet, though.
And here's the thing. I actually like the Galactic Penguins coming out on this comp. It's been a comp that's worked out for them pretty well so far, and they really only swapped off of it or gone off it when they decided to go off it. And that's a good pick there from B-Well and the rest of the Flashbacks are getting assists on to Gizmo. However, Bot is now able to push. The Flashbacks do have control of it, but just gonna kind of hang around this mid part of the map here until a team eventually wins a team fight, because neither one of these teams is really gonna let it get far.
Alright, who's surprised? Eventually, out comes the Junker Queen to play. It's here. We figured it would be, and now it has finally made the grand appearance. Because what is it without a little bit of dramatic flair, right? You lose the first fight, and then the hero arrives.
Yeah, and you look at the Galactic Penguins, a lot of other swaps coming out. Doa going over to the Genji, Chobi to the Lucio. A lot of good swaps, and they've been really good with these characters in the past here. Sky might switch here. They're 85 to a pulse bump, so they probably want to get that off here. But B-Well already having this duplicate is huge for them. But Glimpse falling early is not what you want to see. But here comes the duplicate from B-Well onto this Genji. However, they're so close to getting out of it. They have the Dragon Blade ready to go here. Sky able to find Pacey, but that duplicate does not last much longer as Gizmo shuts it down and then shuts down B-Well's life there. Doa getting demech'd here, and the Galactic Penguins coming back on this Junker Queen comp with a dominant teamfight win.
Alright, man, I get it. Being flashy is important. Getting a clip for next season's montage is cool. Why did you duplicate the Genji? Why did you duplicate the Genji? You could have duplicated the Queen, you could have duplicated the Kryy, and had more valuable ults to work with, but you went with the Blade. I gotta question that decision, but either way, Galactic Penguins are gonna be moving this robot forward. Not anymore! That is a 5-man EMP that lands. Absolutely massive value there. Winning that fight off of just an EMP and a nano boost.
Ooh, and the hack coming out there late onto Elixir denies the wall climb, gives them a team kill. They did lose Pasty in that fight, but they did get the nano off there on the Chooser, and you immediately see Pasty go over to this Baptiste now. Galactic Penguins will be able to get back out to this cart here fast to prevent them from getting a much larger lead than what they probably should have at this point. But look at the Galactic Penguins right now. 3 ultimates to the none that the Flashbacks have, and they're going to start off here with the Castunian Rush, and look what the Flashbacks do here. I love this play for them.
They just cat it out.
Fall back. They have the lead in the distance right now. They don't need to lose anyone this early.
No, yeah, there's no reason to lose anybody to that Kitsune Rush. There's no reason to let that Kitsune Rush have value. But speaking of value, this is going to be a big one. The Rampage is going to connect onto 2, including B-Well and Schuster. That's going to be it for them, and Schuster almost charging up this Annihilation, but not going to find the chance to use it here. And that fight win might have just given the Penguins the opportunity to take the lead.
I don't think they're going to get the lead off this. I think it's going to be incredibly close. If the Flashbacks want to try to keep the lead here, you know, they can rush Schuster out there, pop that on Annihilation. But Arsene now going over to this May. I really do like the pick. It kind of shuts down a lot of what Gizmo wants to try to do on this Junk Queen. But you're going to see this. The Flashbacks are going to be able to get back out and not allow the Galactic Penguins to take the lead.
Not yet.
Gizmo, though, doing a good job here trying to deny. But Elixir finds a huge kill. Here comes the Dragon Blade from Doa, but the beat comes out from Glimpse and the Annihilation from Schuster. The blade will go to waste here, but everyone on the Galactic Penguin still alive at the moment. Schuster's Annihilation still going strong. It takes care of the Queen herself, and now they're trying to get this cart back in their control here. Arsene will find Elixir, and now the Flashbacks will easily take control of the cart. Chobi, though, taking one there for the road.
Chobi's gonna find a pick at the very end of that fight there, and that's good and all, but with Doha going down, you don't have the consistent damage you need here. Chobi's just going to try to survive as long as possible, but it won't be for very long. Schuster will find that final blow, and they just barely don't get the lead there, Dex. Just a couple more meters, and they could have had it. But they will be back in plenty of time to deny this forward spawn.
Yeah, real quick thing. I want to give a shout out to an MVP tonight who's not playing. Chobi's girlfriend. Driving them to an internet cafe so they could play in this series tonight, because Chobi is helping them move into a new place right now. So real MVPs are the ones who support you along the way, and Chobi's girlfriend might be the truest of MVPs here tonight. But this next fight here gonna be a really big one for the Flashbacks. They have a lot of ultimates at their disposal. The only thing the Galactic Penguins have is a beat, and we're gonna see the Flashbacks start off this fight with this damage matrix, and the Galactic Penguins playing it smart. Just gotta avoid everything here. Gizmo pokes their head out a little bit, but then rolls back away from that damage matrix.
Get you a partner that drives you 40 minutes so you can play in the grand final bracket of your Golden Platinum League. That is actually all-star performance right there. Keep her. Anyways, Doha goes down right before the beat lands. Galactic Penguins definitely going to be wanting that one back, but B-Well going down is a nice little trade there. Both of the teams have lost to DPS at this point, but Sky is going to make it a little bit more valuable here. Glimpse going down to that pulse bomb, and Schuster and Arsene will quickly follow, but that's a fair amount of extra distance for the Flashbacks. Galactic Penguins, they have a little bit of an uphill battle in front of them, and Arsene goes to the Sombra.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I mean, they used the Blizzard in that previous fight there, and Gizmo went back to the ball here, so they're definitely trying to shut down Gizmo themselves. That's Arsene's only play here. Shut down Gizmo. The minefield will come out there. Will not find anyone, but everyone gets incredibly low. Doa, they're going to be able to pick off B-Well here. That gives the Galactic Penguins such a huge advantage now, and now they're picking up a couple more things. Getting rid of that Immortality field is huge. It's a huge play for them. Elixir finding Pacey. Elixir, like we've talked about, their coach really does think they have been one of the most improved characters for their team so far this playoffs, and they're proving it right now. Elixir going to be able to demech Schuster, and down goes Schuster as well by the hand of Elixir with a kunai through the skull.
Elixir has been a standout player for this roster in this grand final. It's undeniable. This Kiriko has been on point. The other heroes that have been played as well also on point, but just 3 meters right now separating them from the lead, and they will take it. Galactic Penguins already in a much better position to move on to match point. But if they get this forward spot, it gets so much worse for the Flashbacks. No contest!
And honestly, I think that was the smartest thing that the Flashbacks could do. They're not contest. You've only been throwing bodies into a bad situation right there. Yeah, let the Galactic Penguins take these forward spawns right now. Here comes the Casino Rush. It's going to be responded to with the beat here from the Flashbacks. Doa gets knocked off the map. That's a huge play for the Flashbacks. Pacey is right back here, and Gizmo gets rid of Glimpse there with the grapple. The Penguins find kills from nowhere here. Gizmo still finding pick after pick here. Make it 3 already for the tank here.
Make it 3, potentially 4 with this Sombra as low as she is. She's gonna teleport out, just barely in time. But with Schuster and Arsene that low, they cannot contest anymore. Galactic Penguins gonna get more free distance, and the more that they go, the worse this gets for Flashbacks. They still don't have that forward spawn checkpoint.
Minefield coming out here from Gizmo. Behind everyone there on the Flashbacks. So honestly, I kind of like that one. Here comes the bomb, though, from Schuster. doesn't find anyone. EMP ready for Arsene here. Will they be able to use a B-Well though? Gets denied. The duplication there by Gizmo. Sky finds Glimpse. The Nano coming out here on to B-Well. They are able to find Elixir off of it right now. Sky will find Pacey. B-Well doing all they can to keep their team in this one now. Over a little bit over a minute to go. B-Well has 3, but Gizmo shuts them down. However, I don't think the Galactic Penguins will be able to hold on to this bot for very much longer.
Yeah, definitely not definitively. I was really questioning why Arsene had not used that EMP earlier, but I guess if they can win the fight without using it, then hey, we take those. Either way, the EMP will be the only ultimate for the Flashbacks going into this next and potentially penultimate fight of this map. Forward spawn is lost for the Galactic Penguins.
Here's the thing though. The EMP
Glimpse
needs to be huge, but Glimpse falling early, that's not what you wanted to see. If you're a member of the Flashbacks or a fan,
no.
Doa, Shobi finding the picks they need here. The bot is back in their control here, but actually, no way. The Galactic Penguins might not even touch the bot here. It's only further away from the Flashbacks at this point.
Oh no, Doha with the pick onto Chuster. That could seal their fate. They're gonna move it a little bit in that direction. I think that keeping it there would not have been a great idea. Because personally, that thing can move fast when it's not pushing a robot. EMP is online here. Gonna get shut down initially.
Gonna get hacked.
Dies with the EMP.
No.
Doha's gonna duplicate the Sombra. And now looking for an EMP of their own, but it may not matter. It's gonna connect onto Chuster. Backing into the pulse bomb. This pulse bomb gets stuck, but that is a full team kill. And Galactic Penguins are gonna move to match point.
Galactic Penguins have been playing this series, in my opinion, it might be one of their best series of the season, and they are peaking at the right moment here. The Flashbacks now have to come back from 3-1, even in professional sports in real life. That is a hard thing to come back from, but I believe the Flashbacks do have the talent to do it here. They just need to be able to shut down. Remember, the coach for the Flashbacks said they needed to really worry about Gizmo. Gizmo, in their opinion, probably should have been the tank all-star here in the Harmony tier. And that was their own words. And Gizmo has been putting on a show for us tonight. But hell, everyone in the Galactic Penguins, at any point throughout the night, we can talk about saying they have been doing great.
They've been playing pretty phenomenal here, Dex. Like, it's hard to deny it. It's hard to like talk any other way about it. They've just been playing phenomenally, and you can see that from the map score up here. Yeah, that's S3. They're on map point. They're on match point. They're on series point. They're on championship point. One more map, and they're taking home the trophy.
Yeah, and you have to remember, the Galactic Penguins came into the playoffs here in the knockout bracket. They had to win 3 games in the knockout bracket to even make it to the championship bracket. And then in the championship bracket, they still had to go up against some of the best teams, and hell, in the semifinal against the best team, the #1 overall seed, and they beat them 4-1 there. They're looking to do the same thing tonight to the #2 seed right now, but the Flashbacks, I feel like they're still in this one. I felt like we saw a lot from them that last on Colosseo. But it was just when some ultimates came out there for the Flashbacks, it was the wrong time to use them. They were doing a really good job, but it just seemed like maybe they invested ultimates a little bit too early in some fights, and maybe, sometimes it's just they didn't invest an ultimate at all in some team fights.
Yeah, there were a couple fights there on Colosseo. I'm gonna skip over this next bit that I was thinking about. I think I'd be too mean. But either way, Flashbacks, they gotta figure something out, and they gotta figure it out quick. It'll be interesting to see where they go next. In fact, let's see if... okay. Thank you, T, our fantastic producer, by the way. Shoutouts production. We love production here at Tranquility GG. We got a lot of people behind the scenes putting in a lot of work here to make sure that the show goes on, because we're the ones you hear, we're the ones you see, but the people you don't hear and the people you don't see, they're arguably more important, because you could just watch a blank feed of their work without our commentary. But hey, we're here, we're bringing you the action, and it's all thanks to them. So shoutouts production, shoutouts observers, shoutouts everybody, shoutouts the desk. It's been a great season of Trank, and this is the last series of the Harmony tier. So let's see just how much more of a bang we can go out on.
Yeah, Galactic Penguins win this map. They are the champions. Now, when I talked to Bernie about what would it mean to be a champion here for the Harmony tier, for him personally, it would mean a lot. This is Bernie's last season as being very serious into coaching here, and this would be setting it off on a high note here. They talked about how they had a lot of doubters so far this season, and have been able to just kind of bounce back and prove those doubters wrong here. But as we head into the first point here of Nepal, will we see the series go on, or will the Galactic Penguins end it here and now?
I'm getting a little bit of deja vu here, Dex. Very similar compositions. In fact, exact similar compositions to what we saw on Ilios on that first point. Except the only difference...
But look at that, Trucer able to find Doa out early. But again, we kind of been watching this throughout the night. Pasty falling early for the flashbacks. Remember, the Galactic Penguins coach told us that Pasty was someone that they really need to watch out for tonight. And they've done a good job of getting rid of Pasty early in a lot of these team fights. Flashbacks will take the point here first, but it won't necessarily matter as the Galactic Penguins quickly clean it up, and only after 6% retake the point.
I mean, you'll take 6%. It's better than 0, but it's nowhere near as much as you wanted, right? Obviously, they wanted to hold on to that for longer, but Milan just recalling at 0 HP wasn't going to pan out particularly well for them. And now, the Galactic Penguins are in a prime position to continue holding this for at least the next little bit. They have a Pulse Bomb, they have a Nano, they have a Diva Bomb, whereas the Flashbacks have a lot less to work with here.
Especially with Trucer getting D-Mech and a Nano putting on the Gizmo here. That is a very scary mech right now, but Elixir able to take care of Pasty. B-Well, though, will find one, but at the end of the day, this team fight's pretty much already over, and now the Flashbacks are trying to escape with their life.
Flashbacks gotta get out. They have to reset quickly, and it's good that they lost that fight immediately and reset, because they didn't lose that much ground time-wise. If that fight had been staggered out too much, then we could be looking at upper 50s, possibly like 70% right now. But as of now, it's only at 55%, and there's still a hell of a good chance for Flashbacks to take this point here. Milan going down first is absolutely massive. Good stick onto the duplicate of Bewell, but the recall is going to be perfectly timed. Out goes a little bit more damage from Bewell, and they have the Pulse Bomb, but they do flip the point in the midst of all of this. Bewell is going to throw out the Pulse Bomb, not going to find anybody with it. Out goes the Valkyrie from Glimpse, who's going to go up into the skies and find the pick onto Doha. Down that Farah goes. No more of that. Be well on this Echo, also going to find Elixir. This is going to be a full reset for the Galactic Penguins and Flashbacks, finally clapping back with a little bit of point progress.
Yeah, and they absolutely needed that one there, and it was a very good pick they found first. Getting rid of Chobi really put Doa at a very bad spot there, just kind of on their own without that pocket. You saw Doa immediately fall after that. They were able to take that point very fast, but now the Galactic Penguins taking the point right now. It seemed like they decided to forego that idea there, but they do have a couple ultimates here. Chobi will pop the Valkyrie here early, but Elixir will fall. However, Glimpse will fall right back for the Flashback. So, you know, an even trade there, but Milan falls. That is not what you want to see as a member of the Flashback, so there's no res going back in the one. The Pulse Bomb coming out. Schuster will be able to eat it right before they get D-Mech to the bomb coming out here from Schuster. It will find Doa. Gizmo, though, finding Pasty. However, the Flashback still holding on this point right now, and at this point, it's just trying to stall out as long as they can. It's just Schuster by themselves. They don't have no bomb to get back in this mech, and now they're eventually going to fall. The Galactic Penguins will retake point, but the Flashbacks will have the lead here for a moment.
For a very brief moment, but 74% is not bad. It doesn't put you into the one-fight territory you were looking for, but it gets really, really close. Now, they have the opportunity to retake here. They're very close to a Pulse Bomb, but right now, the only ultimate they have is this Coalescence from Pasty. Not the most impactful ultimate, but we'll see how it gets used here. I imagine we're going to see an orb thrown out very shortly, and there's the Coalescence. Yep, out it goes. I love it when this glitch happens. It's so funny. There is no laser, but either way, down goes the Doha duplicate. No more Moira for the side of Galactic Penguins. Glimpse goes down though. That could be the beginning of the end here. The Galactic Penguins looking pretty solid. The Pulse Bomb not going to connect, but still finds Doha. Anyway, Schuster's mech is out of the picture. No bomb to speak of either. Down goes the Diva Bomb. The Pulse Bomb is going to finish off that. The duplicate goes away, and just like that, Galactic Penguins, after cleaning up Glimpse here, will almost certainly take Village.
Yep, and now the Galactic Penguins, one sub-map away from essentially being the Cinderella story here of Season 10. The highest remaining seed left in any of the final series here. And they have not looked like a 10 or a 7 seed. They've looked like a 1, a 2, or a 3 seed here tonight. The Flashbacks, though, have to make some changes here. They, at times, looked very behind on that one. It seemed like they were kind of playing into what the Galactic Penguins were kind of hoping they would play there. But now, the Flashbacks have to kind of show us something. Their backs are against the wall here. They don't want this series to end.
And this is their map pick, too. I have to wonder what their plan was going into that. Because frankly, it kind of just seemed like you were letting the Penguins play what they were comfortable on in the first map. So hopefully they, I don't know, counterplay a little bit better here, but seems to be relatively familiar compositions on both sides once again, with B-Well on the Echo, Milan on the Tracer, Schuster on the Diva. Now granted, this Diva has been pretty good so far, but hasn't been enough yet. Hasty and Chobi, both teams gonna lose the support right off the bat. Now, you generally want to hold on to that Ana more than you would the Brig. Lot more healing to go around if there's an Ana on the field. But the beam onto the point. Defense Matrix cannot block that. Galactic Penguin's going to make a little bit of point progress here, especially with Milan going down. There's a lot of damage pressure gone, and eventually the first capture will go to the Galactic Penguins. They're so close to this championship, Dex.
Yeah, and honestly, it really came down to the fact that Schuster was demeched early there and then kind of staggered out and eventually taken out once the point opened. It allowed the Galactic Penguins to kind of play it a little bit easier, but B-Well being very aggressive here, finds two, looking for a third here. They have their eyes set on Elixir. They're going to be able to find Chobi with some help there from Milan. Elixir actually be able to escape and jump off the map there, and Sky will just quickly fall to their own grave there. The Galactic Penguins will get about 26% here, but the Flashbacks finally do have control of this point, and they have some ultimates to play with here. You could say the same thing for the Penguins though as well.
Yeah, for sure. Both of these teams having DPS ultimates to work with. What are you doing? Doha? No. No, bad. Bad! Bad, Doha! Stop! No! Not the attack, Torbjorn! This never works!
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I hate it.
If they can get that turret set up in some place good, it can be scary. But Milan's Pulse Bomb, even without the stick, is scary there. And now B-Well duking into a Torb here. You double hate this at the moment. Right now. But Chobi able to find Glimpse. Glimpse playing a little bit too close. No Molten Core can come out there from the duplicated B-Well there. As Chobi just flailing that flail around here, finds two. Gizmo gonna be able to shut down B-Well, and now the Flashbacks again just trying to stagger out this point as long as they can here. Milan will recall back and just get themselves out of this fight rather than dying on point, and I think that's the right thing to do here.
Why did that work? Why did the Torb work? How did they retake that the first fight after swapping to a character that relies on setting up for people to push into him? Either way, Milan and Chobi go down right off the bat. Elixir will be the next to fall, and okay, the next fight will go back in the favor of the Flashbacks. They are going to retake this point here. There's nobody to consistently stop them. Doha is forced to run away, but does charge up this Molten Core in the meantime.
But honestly, you want to know why that worked? Because Doha threw that turret in a place where that team fight wasn't going on. And they pretty much kept that team fight basically in that doorway right there. So that turret was able to get a lot of damage, build up that ultimate pretty fast. And Doha, you know, you can just right click and use the shotgun on that rivet gun there to get a lot of damage and a lot of ultimate charge right there. So you might see an engagement here with a Molten Core here, as the Flashbacks do have the lead, but the Flashbacks do have some ultimates right now. They're starting it off with a Valkyrie, but we do see B-Well fall here early as Glimpse gonna try to make the hero play to get them back in this one here. It doesn't look like they're gonna be able to here, but actually no, they are gonna be able to, but it comes at the cost of Glimpse's life. That's not what you want to see.
They lose their Mercy. B-Well gonna be swapping over to the Ana with the help of the duplicate, but it's not gonna be a very long-lasting duplicate. Down goes the Ana of Elixir. Galactic Penguins are losing members, but so are Flashbacks. It's just B-Well as it stands, really. Glimpse cannot force this anywhere past this overtime. And now, the Flashbacks are in a pretty okay position to maybe take this point one more time and send us to a decisive shrine.
I think the Penguins are in the better position here. 2 ultimates already, about to have 2 more as well. The Flashbacks really only have a pulse bomb and a transcend or coalescence here, about to be ready. They need to find early picks. The stick though, it's huge from Milan. It finds 2. They need to continue. They need to find some more picks off. That's a rally being forced out here by Schuster, but they'll immediately fall. Gizmo does find 1 on point, but it's a 2v3 or 4 situation here. Pulse bomb does come out. It doesn't find anyone. Bomb coming out here from Gizmo will not find anyone with it as well. They're going to be quickly DMAC'd, and now the Flashbacks here know that they need to keep themselves alive here. They need to win this map. Milan taking care of both Gizmo and Sky. They will actually, no, they're not going to be able to retake point here. Doa going to just come in touch. They'll get booped off the map. They're going to be able to retake it here. Look at Shobi. Going to be able to touch. Now Elixir coming back for the touch. Does get the sleep. Pasty will shut them down. We see Gizmo trying to come back on the ball. They're going to be able to. Gizmo trying to keep this alive as long as they can. That ball does have some survivability. Sky now coming back in. This one, the Flashbacks definitely in control of this point. And like you said, we'll be heading to Shrine here as the Flashbacks keep their season alive.
At least 1 more point for the Flashbacks. They don't want it to end in a 4-1 fashion. That would be a whimper of a way to go out here as the number 2 seed overall in this playoffs. Looking so good throughout the entire season. Only ever outclassed by a couple teams, but now they're being outclassed overall by a number, I would like to remind you, a number 10 seed in the knockout bracket. But now we're going in to Shrine, and Gizmo is showing us something pretty interesting here.
Here's what I'm going to say about this. The Galactic Penguins, yeah, they were a 10 seed to start. But ever since they got into the champ bracket, they've only dropped 1 map. They are not playing like a 10 seed. They're not playing like a 7 seed. At this point, throw those seedings out the window. It's 1 versus 1 here. These 2 teams made it to the championship. B-Well finding Chobi out early. Exactly how the Flashbacks wanted to start this. They just need to pick up some follow-up kills here. Gizmo on this ball here. Gonna get focus beam down here. They're gonna be able to keep themselves alive, but Schuster finding Doe with the Flashbacks. Having a great start here on Shrine. Ooh.
Oh, you say that, but they lose their support line immediately to the hands of Elixir and Gizmo. Onto the point walks Sky, but Elixir going down. Gizmo's not able to contest the point very much there, and despite taking out both of the supports there, Flashbacks are going to be able to hold onto this point a little bit longer, and it looks like we're going to see some swaps from the Penguins.
And honestly, like, this is what the Penguins need to do here. They lost the first team fight, and this has been something they've been doing all night. Lose 1 team fight, kind of just look at everything, make some swaps, and this is a good comp for them. Gizmo has been very, very scary on this Jump Queen throughout the night. B-Well does have a duplication ready to go
already
here. And they get duplicate here into the Jump Queen. Gonna use that shell to keep them alive.
No way.
Will find Pacey. This is a great start for the Galactic Penguins, but then they deny the duplication rampage there. Milan will find 1. B-Well finding Elixir, keeping the Flashbacks alive in this team fight, but the Galactic Penguins do have a little bit more support on the point right now. They have a tank and a DPS and a support there while you lose Schuster and B-Well there. It looks like the Flashbacks are just going to try to hold on to this point for as long as they can here. Remember, we saw this work out very well for them on Lighthouse, doing that essentially, or no, on third point of Ilios, having just a stall comp. They got 55% there. Really?
55?
They should have only got 40% there because the Galactic Penguins won that team fight way long ago.
Yeah, they won a very long time ago, but now the Flashbacks are in a much better position to potentially take this in a lot fewer fights if they're able to retake. But that's the key. Are they going to be able to retake? I don't think they will off of this fight. They don't have a lot of engage ultimates here. What do they have? They have the sustain of a Coalescence and the sustain of a Valkyrie, as well as maybe a bomb for displacement. Meanwhile, there's the beat. That's a lot of damage mitigated from Chobi. And Hasty is going to be the first to fall in the fight. That beat allowing Gizmo to go so aggressive here. Finding picks onto both of the supports. Schuster does get a good eat onto the Pulse Bomb, but it's not going to be enough. The remake is going to come out. There's no way this Diva escapes, though.
And I think Schuster using the bomb there to remake was the worst thing they could do there. Yep. That was an ultimate. That could have been a huge ultimate for them, but they used it to remake. And look, it doesn't matter. 10 seconds after they remake, they're jumping off the map because they're not in their mech. Look at the Galactic Penguins. a Blizzard, a Rampage, a Kasuni Rush. They have ultimates now to sustain on this point. The Kasuni Rush, I mean, my bad. The Rampage could end a team fight before it really starts. The Blizzard instantly ends a team fight if it gets on point. Chooser needs to be able to eat that, but you have both support ultimates and that duplication. We're almost ready here for the Flashbacks. This is going to be a very interesting fight.
The Flashbacks don't have a hero that can shut down any Rampages, right? No Kiriko, no Batiste, no nothing. Sky is gonna find Schuster, and this might be the beginning of the end. Dexatron, Gizmo's gonna find the kill onto the duplicate. Another axe swing onto B Well. Hasty goes down, 86% in building. The wall is gonna shut Schuster away, and now it is one more chance. And I don't think Flashbacks are gonna be able to get their full fighting force back in time.
It doesn't matter. They just
97. 98.
The Flashbacks are going to try to just get a touch here. Milan will get back. The pulse bomb will come out, but Milan will not see what comes from it. Here comes the Kasuni Rush from Elixir. It's on point. Gizmo there, still holding on to this Rampage. It might be the thing that ends this series. Doa does find Pasty. It's starting to look like the beginning, and down goes B-Well, though. Does find Shelby. B-Well down. Now it's just up to Schuster. Will Milan be able to get back in time? That Tracer can touch point here, but they are going to be able to. However, overtime ticking down. No members of the Flashback will be able to get back in time. Galactic Penguins come into the playoffs as your 10th seed, and now are your Season 10 champions.
The 10th seed! The 10th season! It was meant to be! It was told in the prophecies of old! Galactic Penguins! Defying all expectations, all odds! And they will end up taking, like you say, Harmony Tier this season. They are your grand champions. What an unbelievable run! From 10th in the knockout bracket to 7th in the championship bracket to grand champions in a 4-1 fashion deck.
And you have
crazy stuff.
You have to give a lot of credit to the Galactic Penguins here. Throughout this entire playoffs, it was lose and it's over for them. In the knockout rounds, rounds 2 and 3 there, they took them to 5 each of those rounds. They won in 5. They won essentially on the last map they could here. Like I said, once they got into the championship bracket, they 4-0 swept Geometric in round 1. They 4-1. They beat the number 1 seed overall, Onigiri, in the semifinal 4-1. And now in the grand finals, they beat the number 2 overall seed 4-1. Once they got in this championship bracket, they were an entirely different team.
That's just unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. Leveling up at just the right moment. And yeah, this was really the perfect moment for them to do it, right? They finally do it after a tough season. 10th seed, that is just a really hard way to start a bracket. Nobody had them getting this far. Nobody had them getting this far, much less winning the grand final.
Yeah, and when you look back at their run, they had to play in that final knockout round to get here. The number 2 overall seed in the original playoffs, Paul's champs, and they beat them in a reverse sweep. And I felt like they found something that game that they kind of just brought into the champ bracket. 4-0 sweeping Geometric, probably something that no one necessarily expected. Maybe, there's probably a couple people that expected them to beat Geometric, not sweeping them. Onigiri, again, maybe you could see them beating Onigiri, but Onigiri had been probably by far one of the best teams in the Harmony Tier throughout the season. They handily beat them 4-1, and now and tonight, the Flashbacks, again, the number 2 overall seed in the playoffs, get knocked out by the Galactic Penguins. Their run, I called it a little bit of a Cinderella run. I also called them giant killers, because I believe they beat the number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 overall seeds to get to this point. So they essentially are the giant killers of the Harmony Tier.
Call them Galactic Davids, because they took down a lot of Goliaths on their way to get here. Damn. That is a run and a half.
But honestly,
just absurd.
Let's give the Flashbacks a lot of credit.
Oh, yes.
This was a very close series. The scoreboard might say 4-1, but we could easily go back to Ilios. That one went all 3 points. It went 9-9, 9-9 on that 3rd point. One thing changes. We're probably looking at a 2-3, a 3-2 in either one of the team's favors right now heading into a map 6. However, Galactic Penguins were able to take that one. They were able to take King's Row, and that Kings Row was a very interesting map because I felt like it really allowed us to see how good the Galactic Penguins could kind of go into what the Flashbacks wanted to play. Then we saw the Flashbacks kind of bounce back on Junkertown, allowing their DPS to do a lot of the talking there. However, I just think after Junkertown, it was going to be very hard to find maps that allowed your DPS to do most of the talking. It really came down to that tank battle, in my opinion.
It absolutely did. And Gizmo, man, just a standout player for the entirety of this series. Whether it was the Wrecking Ball or the Junker Queen, those were definitely the highlights. But those just showing absolute mastery and proficiency of those characters. I'm speechless. That the Queen in particular was putting in so much work throughout so many of those maps. Even on the Junkertown that they lost, Gizmo was still a highlight player. And if I had to give out like an MVP for this specific series, it would have to be Gizmo, almost certainly.
Oh, maybe you could say Chobi's girlfriend, but yeah,
maybe Chobi's girlfriend. Yeah,
Gizmo is by far, in my opinion, the best player tonight for both teams. And remember, the Flashbacks even stressed to me that was the player they needed to shut down or just try to slow down a little bit. And they were able to do that on 1 or 2 maps, but it just throughout the rest of the series, they weren't really able to do that. One thing, one of the questions I asked all the coaches, or these 2 coaches, was win or lose tonight. What was their take of this season? And Bernie, the coach for the Penguins, rated it, even if they lost tonight, this was a 100 out of 100 score for them. He has never been more proud of any of his teams, so far in terms of winning or losing. But he said that every single player had grown throughout the season, and we saw it here. There was a lot of growth here in the Penguins throughout the season, and it got them all the way here, and it got them to that penultimate goal that I believe, even at the start of the playoffs, maybe they didn't even think was possible.
I honestly don't doubt that. Yeah, going into a playoff in a situation like that, in a bracket this stacked with so many teams that you've been facing all season long, it was never going to be easy. But perseverance is always key in situations like these, and they did it. They actually pulled through and did it. Just amazingly done.
Before we sign off for tonight, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone behind the scenes. Gedster already kind of talked about it a little bit. Hippy, Wareagle, T. There was one other person I know I'm forgetting. I think it was Knockonwood. They all did great. And there's probably also one other person. I think Laggy helped out a lot tonight as well. They all did great. I think they had 5 there at the end. But
then we had Kryy as well. Yeah, we had a lot of people involved.
I forgot about Kryy. But like, we had a lot of hands on deck, and there's gonna be a lot of hands on deck this entire week here for all of the series. And just a reminder, there's still 2 more series left this week.
Yes.
We have the Transcendence tier tomorrow. That is Amnesia versus the Guangzhou Gangsters. Now that is gonna be a very exciting matchup. Thursday, you have the Discord tier where you'll see Reminiscence take on MI7 out. Now, I mean, everyone kind of expected that. That's like the running meme with the Discord tier, that those 2 are always going to be destined to meet there. But Gedster, we were given a treat here tonight. Over 130 people at the end were watching this incredible series.
That's insane.
Gedster, you were a pleasure to catch with as always.
As always, brother. Man. As always, brother. It is literally never not been an absolute pleasure and joy to work with you, Dex. It is always fantastic. It is always great. And I'm always down to run it back, so hit my line whenever you need somebody else and I come to mind. But with that, everybody, that's Harmony Tier for Season 10 of Tranquility. That's it. It's over. 4-1 is the final score of the final series, and with that, we now have an off-season to look forward to, a bunch of fun little side events, and Season 11 starting up pretty soon here. So, if you liked what you saw tonight, and I know a lot of you probably did, then come try it. Then come try your hand at playing next season, maybe. It could be a good time. Maybe come try casting, try producing. This is a great place to get your foot in the door for all facets of competitive Overwatch, whether it be production, playing, coaching, any of that. But yeah, like you say, Dex, it is time for us to go. So with all of that in mind, I have been Gedster.
I have been Dexatron. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Remember, two more series left this week, tomorrow and Thursday. Tune in those. But that has been it for us here at Tranquility Night. Galactic Penguins, your champions of the Harmony Tier. Good night, everyone.
I